Hello and welcome to Leadership Quick Start. I am your host, Rakita Starks, and today we'll be talking about what is DISC. And you all know that's where I'm coming from. That's what I train on. I help leaders understand people so that they can lead people effectively. That's basically as simple as that. I help people understand people. And I do that by using personality assessments, behaviors, and just understanding what makes up a person and how can you communicate with that person in a way that is effective and moving something forward. How can you lead them the way that they can receive it? And so I'm going to be talking about where this came from. If you haven't heard of it, it is a system that was created by William Marston. It first started, though, I have to go back a little bit, in 440 BC. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of history for my C's. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of history just to give backstory and credibility. Okay. It started back in 400 BC. It started with earth, fire, air, and water. Okay, it started with that. And they observed the human behavior, and they said, well, some people are like fire in there, and they are driven, and they like all these things. But then it was like, really can't understand that in people terms. So let's just make this more simplified. In 1926, that's when William Marston made this as simple as possible for us humans to be able to apply this in our hiring process, in our communicating process, in our relationship processes, in our parenting, in all of these different areas. It's D, dominance, I, influence, S, steady, and C, compliant. Now, each personality has different characteristics, different traits, different weaknesses, different fears. And I haven't talked about the fears just yet, but eventually I'm going to tell y'all about the fears of each personality style. But I definitely wanted to talk to y'all about what it is so you can understand that each personality deserves a different version of us. Okay. If you're an effective leader, you know how to become what the situation needs you to be. Kind of like a chameleon. Okay. A chameleon is not going to be green over here on a red flower. So something can come in and eat them. No, I'm going to transition to be what the situation needs me to be. I'm in a field of red flowers. I'm going to transition and become and blend in with the red flowers so that I can relate to the red flowers. I can communicate. I can empathize with the red flower. I know what it's like being a red flower. I know where like you just blend in with the different personalities, and you have to learn, how can I do this? You first do it by understanding what they are. So there's 3% of people in the world, out of all the people in the world, 3% of them are dominant personalities. Direct, decisive, and dominant. These people are usually in power positions, lead positions. They are decision makers. They are quick to make a decision, fast paced. They are task driven, results driven, fast and results driven. It's not about the relationship part. It's about how can we get this done. They are natural problem solvers. They are the first people think about when it comes to solving a problem. I know I can bring you something and you can help me solve it. I know that if I have a thought about something, or if I'm just lost or stuck on something, they're going to give me advice that's going to move me forward. But they're competitive too. So they are very competitive and strategic in who they let close to them too. So for the other personality styles, it could seem like the dominant personality could come off as, oh, they don't like me. They just aggressive and they standoffish. No, their first thought is, are you getting this done? Think about Jordan. If you watched The Last Dance, if you watched it, you heard his teammates saying he was hard driving, he was mean, and you see clips of him how he was mean on the court and all this kind of stuff. But then when they won those championships, they like, it was necessary, it was needed. because they see something in people and they're going to push them to be that. Sometimes they can pull good things out of a person, but you have to understand that the other personalities cannot be driven in the same way. My D personalities, you have to understand that some people want to build a relationship with you versus you looking at the results they're getting. Okay. D personalities, another thing about you guys is that you're self-motivated. You don't need anyone else to applaud you or tell you doing a good job. You know you're doing a good job. You don't need a cheerleader. You your own cheerleader. And that's a gift. It's a gift, and it could sometimes be a curse when you are in a leadership position where you work with people. Now, when you're working with people, you have to understand that you need people to grow. You need people to help you to the business. Your business depends on relationships, whether that's with your customers, that's with your teammates. It depends on a lot of things. So you have to understand that, okay? And also with D's, y'all are usually extroverted. Y'all, people, you can walk in the room and you can kind of know who's in charge, and usually it's a D personality. They're over the top. It can come off as an argumentative attitude, and but they're very confident in who they are. And it's like I said, it's a gift and a curse, because sometimes you can walk in a room and you can see everyone as fine, or you can see everyone as these people are just as confident as me, when internally they are in turmoil. Okay. So my challenge to my dominant personalities would be to actively listen. Learn to actively listen to people, so that they can open up to you in a way that they are. It's not in a fight or flight type of mentality. It's like, it's not a I have to perform to get on their good side. It's a I genuinely want to learn more about you, so I'm going to listen, not for my own advantage, but for your advantage. Okay. Another thing about D personalities that you should know is that they can sometimes do too many things at once. They can do too many things at once a lot of times and lose focus. That's why sometimes they have to tap into the other personality types to keep them on track. Okay. Okay. Another thing about that's enough about the D. Let's go into the I personality. Influence personality. They are interactive people. They are the people who are wanting to have fun. They are fast-paced as well, like the D. They're fast-paced too, and they can get things done too, but they can get kind of sidetracked too. And they can come off as people pleasers, because they want to make sure that everyone's having a good time. They're the optimistic one, enthusiastic and talkative, and want to know more about you, and want to encourage you and motivate you, and they want to persuade you to do better. It's not that they want to be manipulative. It's I'm going to convince you to believe in yourself type of leaders. And sometimes they can become more interested in popularity than tangible results. So that's where they can get sidetracked on that. The I personality, I almost slipped and said we, because I'm part of the ID. My personality type is ID, but we can get more on the emotional side. We can lead with our emotions. And if they're not in check, and if we don't keep them in check to where it doesn't dictate our decisions or dictate what we're going to do today. Oh, I don't feel like doing it, or I'm in a happy mood, I'm going to get all these things done. No, I'm going to get it done because I need to get it done, or because I have to get something done. And it takes that discipline to keep yourself on track. Okay. So my challenge to my I personalities is to stay focused. Stay focused on not just pleasing people or the the um the dream. Don't get so focused on the dream that you forget the steps that it's going to take to get to the dream. Okay. So learn that. Also, just learn when to talk. Sometimes we can talk too much, and we have to learn that everyone doesn't need to know all the details of every part of our life. Okay. You need to find people for different departments of your life. You have your coaches, you have your friends who you can talk to about marriage, you have your friends who you can talk to about business, you have your friends who you can talk to about money, you have your friends who you can talk to about God. You have like not everyone is meant to be everything. So it's okay to have different people for different departments of your life. Okay. So, and also you're the peacemaker. You're one, you and I personalities and S personalities are the peacemakers. I want to make sure that everybody's good. I want to make sure everybody's good. And if they're not, it affects me. Like, man, I thought I did everything I could to make sure everybody was good. No. It's, that's not your job. But it's just something natural. It's something that it's a gift. It's a gift, and that's your strength. So when companies are struggling to create a culture in their company that is fun, in our company it's work work hard, play harder, then come back and work again. We're gonna work, then we also gonna play, and then we're gonna work harder. That's just simply that. We have to incorporate fun, because if I personally don't have fun while doing it, it's like, shoot, there ain't no point of doing it. It's like, this is boring. If I'm gonna do it, let's make sure we having fun doing this. You know. Then we have our S personality. S personality, that's your steady personality. It's 69% of people in the world are S personalities. 69% of people in this whole world are S personalities. Staggering. Stable, steady, and secure. Introverted, watchers, and reserved. They're very good listeners. Very good listeners. They're the ones who make very loyal and good friends. And they are empathetic. They can listen to both sides. If two friends are in conflict, if two coworkers are in conflict, they're the mediators. They are the friendly people who want to make sure, like I want to make sure everybody's good. But they can be self-sacrificing. And like I tell my S's, I tell them, hey, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to get filled up too and give out of your overflow, not out of your cup. Give out of the overflow, the stuff that's on the salsa. Like if you're drinking some tea and you had a little plate up under it and you have your cup, whatever is falling over onto the salsa, that's what you can give away. But the stuff in the cup, that's what you need to use to fill up. All right. So be mindful of that. That's my challenge for my S's. Be mindful of that. Also be mindful that you are, it takes you a while to adjust to change. So because of that, communicate with your team that you're having a hard time adjusting, or give you time to adjust. And since you kind of could be sensitive to criticism, also be mindful that not every cut is meant to hurt you. Some cuts are meant to heal you and help you. because criticism is not always bad. Sometimes it's a needed truth. And we have to learn to accept criticism from those who love us. If someone loves you, they want to see the best for you, and they're going to be telling you the truth from no matter how hard it is, from a good place. Because you're a loyal person, you're compliant to authority, you are these are the clear rules that you want me to follow. These are the clear tasks you want me to do. This is the rule book. I'm going to do it. You stick to the script. You stick to the script. Very stable, very steady. Like, that is a gift too. All of these personalities have gifts. And your gift is that you're a reliable, steady person. You are the same today and tomorrow. What you see is what you get. Okay. So use that as your advantage, but also just remember your limitations. I don't like to call it weaknesses, and I try to say this every time, but your limitations. In those limitations, remember that other styles and other personalities have the strengths that you lack. So get close to them. Learn how they use their strengths so that you can be a well-rounded leader. Okay, that's for everybody. That's for the D's, I's, S's, and C's. For all of us. Okay, lean on other people's strengths so that we can be effective overall. On to my C personalities. 17% of all people in the world are C personalities. Compliant, controlled, correct, compliant people. They are the introverted, soft-spoken, can be pessimistic type of people. They're analytical, very analytical, careful, and fact finders. They are the ones who find the holes in your business, or find something that could go wrong. They're the ones who are going to find it before it happens. They're the cross your T's and dot your I's type of people. They have high standards too, and very systematic. And when a system is not in place or standards are not clear, they have a problem. So all other personality types, I need y'all to know that about this C personality. It's not that because they can be slow to take action, because if they don't have everything lined out, if they don't understand it all the way through, they're not going to take action on it. But other personality types, I know some of y'all don't want to pay attention to details. Some of y'all just want to go fast and take action. The C personality is a slow-paced personality, and they're task-driven. Okay? Task-driven and slow-paced. I don't know if I talked about that on the other personalities. D is fast-paced and task-oriented. I is people-oriented and fast-paced. S is slow-paced, people-oriented, and then your C is task-driven and slow-paced. Okay, so slow-paced on the C personality, even-tempered, and they're another group of people of use. What you see is what you get. They can be the people who would prefer to work alone, because they want to make, because if something is wrong, it's the C personality, I have to think about all areas of things that can go wrong, and I need to control the situation with knowledge. They need clear-cut boundaries, and they prefer not to verbalize their emotions of what they feel and what they're going through. They don't want to talk about when they need help. You have to insert yourself in the C personality and say, hey, I see you have all this going on with the C and the D. I see you have all this going on. Let me help you by taking this off your plate. But the only way they're going to do that is if they trust you to complete the job. If they don't trust you, they're like, nah, I got it. You're good. But if you have a level of trust that you've developed with this person, then it is a great thing for you to do as an act of love towards them, is by helping them to carry the load and helping them to see that it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to get everything perfect. Everything doesn't have to be done right on the first time or over time. It's not just about doing everything right. It's about doing the right things. Okay. So we have to learn how to communicate that to the C personality. The D, they want to do it the fastest way possible. And the I want to do it the funnest way possible. The S want to do it the easiest way possible. And the C want to do it the best way possible. Okay. So just remember that. Remember that with the different personalities, and people are made up of the behaviors of people are made up of three areas. One is hereditary. How people say, you just like your daddy, you act just like your daddy, or you act just like your mom. Like, some things are hereditary. And then the second area is your role models. Up to the age of 12, your role models. Who were you seeing growing up? Who were your circle of influence? Who were people you were hanging around? Who were your mentors pouring into you, your coaches? Who were those people? Because they're shaping, and this, parents, we have to be mindful of this. Up to the age of 12, your role models, your kids' role models are shaping their behaviors. So we need to be mindful of who our kids are around. I can see why my mama or our neighbors growing up, I could see why our parents were like, no, you don't need to go to that, or no, you can't hang around that person, or no, like, I can see why. Now that I'm a parent, I see why. They probably didn't know this information, but this is part of the reason why, because your role models up to the age of 12 shape your behaviors, shape the way you see the world, shape the way you interact with other people, and shape so many areas of the way you learn, the way you see, and all these things. Then the third thing that shapes your behavior is going to be your life experiences. After the age of 8, your life experiences shapes your behavior. So whatever happens to you, good or bad, it shapes the way you interact with people, the world, and yourself. How you talk to yourself, what you believe about yourself, what you believe about other people. I can't trust them, or I do trust them, or I'm standoffish, or all these things are shaped by those three things: hereditary, role models, and your life experiences. And we need to be mindful of those. Like, what shaped this thinking that I have? What made me believe that I have to do this all alone, that everything has to be on me? What made me what shaped me to be ambitious? What made me want to be a driver and want to just go for things? What made me want to be a people person, a sociable person? What makes me okay with going into a room and talking to people? What makes me a analytical person to where I can see details, my mind fires off quickly, and I can see things that people can't see? What makes me this loyal person to where I'm big on tradition and I want to have everything be the same? What triggered those behaviors? Hereditary, role models, and life experiences. So once we explore them, we get to know them, then we will see how we can tap into the other personalities, how we can, because we have all four of them in us. All of us have all four of them in us. It's just some of us have more in certain areas than others. And what I like to point out to people is that God has all of these personalities in him, and he has given them to us. He has given us all of his personality types. And that is just so fascinating, is that he saw fit to create us in his image. But then he's like, how did he create us? The D personality, he showed up in, I'm dominant, like, I am God. I am the way, the truth, the light. Like, no one comes to the Father but through me. Like, I am the way. I am that I am. Okay. Then he shows up in the I as the people person. think about Jesus and how he was the people person. Even in the when they say the love your neighbors as you love yourself, like love your if you love your neighbors, if you love them how you love yourself, then you wouldn't be jealous or envious or wanting to fight or and all these kind of things. Jesus went to the sick. That's a more, you can't get more I than that. Then he shows up in the S personality to where he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is consistently showing up. He is like, this is the seasons of the year are going to be the same time every year. Everything he's done, like, it's consistency over and over. You see him show up in the same way, but in different ways each time. And then you see him show up in the C as in the way, in the beginning, there was light. He spoke like everything was strategic in the creation. That's where his analytical, he didn't create the people before he created the heavens and the earth, separated the heavens from the earth. And he didn't create the people before he created the land for them to live on. He didn't create the people before he gave them a habitat to multiply. Once he had everything planned out and he had the animals in place, he had the work for the man to come on and do. So it wasn't nothing for the human to think about. Like, you're going to work and do this, you're going to live here, and, and this is what you're going to, it's nothing to think about. It's all planned out. It's strategic. I've analyzed this. I already got it lined out. I already know y'all going to let me send Jesus to help y'all out and die for y'all so y'all can reconcile to me, because I already know y'all going to mess up. He was strategic in everything he did. And all of these personalities show up in him. And it's just, like I said, it's fascinating to see how, when you understand that God created you in his image, and you see how he created you in his image and the personality type that he's made you to have, and the experiences that he's had let you experience to create and shape your behaviors, it's an act of love. Like, wow, God, thank you for giving me this gift. Thank you for giving me these strengths. I am aware of my limitations, so let me work on those things. So that's the DISC changed my life. It changed my marriage. It changed our business. It changed my parenting. It changed the way we resolve conflict. It changed the way I sell. It changed the way that I just relate to people. And when you know how to understand people, you can communicate, and you can talk to them in a way that, man, you can help them grow. Leaders, if you just want people to understand you and you're not trying to understand people, it's going to be hard for you to help people grow. You have to meet people where they are. All right. So that's just a little bit of back history on what DISC is, what leadership, how you can use it in your leadership, understanding people. And yeah, so that's what I teach on. I teach on helping people understand people so that they can lead effectively. Okay. So the first step in leadership is first leading yourself and understanding yourself. You need to know, accept, become. CAB. Know who you are, accept who you've been made to be, and become who you need to be. Know, accept, become. All right. All right. This has been Leadership Quick Start. Y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.